All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting. We'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. Commissioner Scar is not here today, so it'll just be me and Commissioner Bell. Our meeting is live streamed, and you can join us online by going to our website. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. I want to welcome everybody. We got a nice full house. Please sign the guest list, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Bell, would you read?
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start out. We have no non-agenda items. Okay, no public comment. You do. Oh, it's just bumped down. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we want to go to that first then? We'll go to the unscheduled. I was just going to go after E.
You just noted that we didn't have any, so we were just clarifying that
Gotcha.
we do. Yep.
Understood. No public comment? Okay, we'll move on to presentation report. Agenda item 5 is employee recognition for June 2026. Kelly Fulton, HR technician. This is a recognition for the continuous years of service. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
This is our monthly meeting.
Yes, it is that time. It's time to recognize the county employees having anniversaries this month and thank them for their continued service. Our county team is made up of many talented individuals, and here are the people we celebrate in June. Allison Bernardo Garcia is our big G's at Health and Human Services with 21 years. Martin Rodriguez in the Sheriff's Office, 20 years. Ani Seaholm, Sheriff's Office, 19 years. Christine Iseth, our county clerk, is 18 years. Irene Fitzgerald in the Health Department, 15 years. Greg Schmidt at Public Works, 8 years. Kayla Jacob in the Health Department, 5 years. Sean Ehlers in the Sheriff's Office, 5 years. Christopher Rondeau, Sheriff's Office, 5 years. David Frost at the library is 4 years. Deb Dixon in community development is 4 years. Melissa Josie in the juvenile department, 4 years. Aaron Barrico, Sheriff's Office, 4 years. Michelle Walters in the health department, 3 years. Travis Patterson, Sheriff's Office, 3 years. Chase Moody, Sheriff's Office, 3 years. Clinton Wilkes at Public Works, 3 years. Alan Keelan at Parks, 2 years. Carly Katenko in the libraries, 1 year. Tony Calagenis at Health and Human Services at 1 year. And Chris Corliss at Community Development, 1 year.
Great.
A lot of sheriffs.
Long list. Fantastic. Commissioner Bell, you always do such a good job.
Thank you. Well, we say this every month and we absolutely mean it, that our employees, our personnel are our greatest asset. And we couldn't possibly do the work for the community that we do without folks, without not only our employees, but people with longstanding service who have the experience and expertise to be able to move forward professionally and do the work we do. And so I'm very grateful for all of these people and for their longevity. And I wonder if the sheriff would like to speak up for his folks, because he has almost half the people on this list.
Mm-hmm. There's a pattern there.
Do I need to come up? Come on up.
Well, as we know, the sheriff's office is the biggest portion of the budget, and there's your reason why. In my opinion, our staffing levels are I think the largest in all the county divisions. To say I'm proud would be an understatement of all the people I have working in that office, and it's great to recognize all these people, and I hope those numbers keep getting bigger and bigger. There was a 20-year and a 19-year.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive. I'm going on 21, so that longevity means something for sure.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly. Oh, she did. All right, let's move on to agenda item 6. It's the county financial reports. Deborah Jacob, Director of Financial Services, and our treasurer. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, for today, we are reporting on July 1, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. This is for the general fund financial report, and it is overall status is on track with 2 major revenue streams outperforming budget. Fourth quarter timber received came in at 1.5 million for a total of 5.4 million for the year. That is 1.5 million above budgeted. Interest is at 549,000. That's 149,000 above the budgeted amount. And revenue stabilization transfers to the general fund have been held and reversed given the good performance of revenue so far this year. Budget pace and timing. Revenue collected year to date is 23,600,000. That's 98% of our budgeted amount. Expenditures are 22,500,000 or 78%. So our revenue is on pace and our expenditures are under. Key performance indicators, total revenue is 23 million, budgeted 24 million and 1.3 million above the same time last year. Total expenditures are 22.5 million. Revised budget was 28.7 million. That is 21% below the budgeted amount, but 1.1 million above the same time last year. What's going well? The revenue is, like as I said, 1.3 million ahead of where we were at this time last year. Property tax is within 1 percentage point of the budgeted amount. Timber and land sales above budget. Personnel services currently 3.8 million below budget, projected to be 2.4 million below budget at the end of the fiscal year. Current fund balance is 12.5 million. That's up 1 million from beginning fund balance. The watch items are our materials and services spending, which is up 13% over the prior year, or almost 700,000. This is largely due to economic circumstances. A lot of our spending was fuel and lubricants, and other goods and services are up across the board. In this report, the timber surplus was determined to be best used via a $500,000 return to the Revenue Stabilization Fund through our budgeting process. The transfers to the general fund have been reversed in May for 500,000. So we see that reflected in our projected ending fund balance as we get there later. For revenue detail, we covered property taxes within 1%. All else largely on track. To expenditure detail, personnel services budgeted at 19 million, currently 15 million. We are at a 10.9% vacancy rate currently at 120 FTE. Projected year-end position, current year projection revenue is 24.5 million, projected expenditures of 24.3 million for a surplus of 327,000. This includes the holdback of the timber surplus into the revenue stabilization. So ending as planned for budget on track.
Fantastic.
Thank you. I am grateful for this report. It's such a terrific tool. It's easy to understand. I mean, relatively speaking, and it's easy to follow along when you're explaining it. And it's I think it's really valuable information for the public and for our leadership, for our staff. And it's good news, of course. It's good news to end up in the green here. And so I'm grateful for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with all of that. It's so nice to have these reports and for the public to be able to just go on our website and get them. I appreciate all the work you put into these. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, great. We'll move on to our legislative and administrative agenda items. Agenda item 7 is consideration of contract for goods with Command Sourcing Incorporated for Justice Facility Fixture. Sheriff Joshua Brown, Sheriff's Office. Good morning, Sheriff. Thank you for coming in person.
I'd actually like to repeat your guys' sentiment about that financial report. I mean, it's very informative and it's extremely refreshing and uplifting to hear a positive report that shows us in good standing, you know, rather than that falling off the cliff. So it's great hearing that. The work that the different committees have done to work on our budget has clearly been paying off at least at some level. So it's very nice hearing that positive take on our budget. So thank you to Deborah, and I just wanted to repeat your guys' sentiment. So what's on the agenda? This is a contract to purchase all of the remaining new beds for our jail. And the history on that, and I apologize, Lieutenant Silvera should have been presenting this. You know, he's the expert in this. He's in interviews all day today. We've got a big list of interviews, which is great. So I'll do my best. But last year we bought a large amount. We had an opportunity with some funding to be able to do so. The reason that we went with these beds is they are specifically designed to prevent self-harm or suicide attempts inside of our jail. When we did buy these, we reported on the numbers, and I apologize, I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but we have seen a dramatic increase in people that are in our facility under our care attempting to hurt themselves. And when I say dramatic, I mean dramatic. It was something like 2 a year up to like 8. So it was significant. And so anything that we're able to do to help prevent that, you know, we put metal screens up on the second level so that people don't try to utilize that for self-harm. Lieutenant's taken a lot of steps to help prevent that. These beds are part of that. They basically have soft corners. They're plastic, no hard corners, nothing to tie a bed sheet to. Like I said, they're built specifically for this purpose. This contract, like I said, represents the last of the beds that we need to cover the entirety of our facility. At least that's what I was told, and I have no reason to doubt otherwise. It's just end of the year maintenance, you know, funding that is able to have this get accomplished. So that's what this is.
Great. Commissioner Miller?
Thank you, Sheriff. The last time I toured the jail facility, I think you showed us the beds that are already in place that serve this purpose, and it makes good sense. I'm glad we're investing in that. I'm glad we're finishing up and replacing the last of the old beds. So thank you, and Lieutenant Silvera, for your leadership in this.
I would agree. I was happy to see, you know, the old beds had those really just metal corners.
Yeah.
Also, all the jails built in that jail in the 90s, like that, all had open balconies, like even other states. And it was nice. We finally got, which was crazy to think about that they had open balconies, and we just thought it was okay, but we didn't have the issues that we're having now. So having those blocked off is fantastic. I appreciate it. I know that CIS has helped a little bit with some of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're helping on this particular go around. They've helped before, because naturally the liability with somebody hurting themselves in our facility is through the roof.
Yep.
You know, if you think about what we're spending on these, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what it could be. So naturally, CIS, being our insurer, has high interest in this, and so yeah, they helped out with a grant, I believe, last go around. So yeah.
Great. I just appreciate you guys being proactive in this. So we're ready for the motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a contract for goods with Command Sourcing, Inc. for Justice Facility Fixtures.
And I second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Agenda item 8 is consideration of regular full-time personnel requisition for property appraiser trainee in the Assessment and Taxation Department, Robert Buckingham, Chief Appraiser, Assessment and Taxation Department. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I know you had a long walk.
Yes, right across the hall. Before you today is a request for a regular full-time property appraiser trainee position in the Assessment and Taxation Office. This does not increase our full-time FTE count. Rather, it replaces an existing vacant and budgeted for property appraiser 3 position. Since August of last year, we have had 2 unsuccessful recruitment efforts to fill that property appraiser 3 position. And changing to a property appraiser trainee would allow us to have a broader applicant pool while developing talent internally and supporting our existing staff.
Fantastic. Commissioner Bell?
Makes perfect sense to me. I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate you guys pivoting and understanding the workforce issues we're dealing
Yes.
with and trying to address them, and rather than just stay on course the old way and not
Have to be
be
flexible.
flexible. Thank you
Mhm.
very much. Okay,
I really appreciate the opportunity for our staff to grow and develop in their careers. So
Yes,
I like it for that also.
I am one of those people who developed from an OS2 position.
great.
So
Nice.
and how many years have you had?
almost 20
That's
with
well.
about 4 outside of the county.
Great, fantastic.
You ready?
Ready?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a regular full-time personnel requisition for a property appraiser trainee in the Assessment and Taxation Department.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, we'll now move to our unscheduled item. This was a time-sensitive issue, so we had to take it as unscheduled. This is consideration of a rental agreement with Sunbelt Rentals Incorporated for temporary portable HVAC units for the Tillamook Main Library. Don Algeier, Library Director. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners, and sorry to bring a unscheduled item in front of you. It breaks my Midwestern heart, which doesn't want to
We'll forgive you.
do that. But we've been working to get a temporary HVAC solution in place. As you know, we're replacing the chiller at the main library. And that project is going to take through the summer. We anticipate there will be heat this summer. And the cost for the HVAC unit ended up being just over the threshold where we need approval from the board. So it's $25,812. Hence the fact that it's coming before you unscheduled. That will cover us through June and July in the main library. And as you know, the summer is a very busy time at the library between summer reading and just like general summer traffic. It's our busiest time of the year. And with the second floor, it gets quite hot if we don't have a solution in place. So this will help us to stay cool while that chiller gets replaced so that we're good to go for the next 20 years.
Fantastic. Commissioner Bell?
I am fully supportive and I think it's important and we should do it.
I agree. Ready for this?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a rental agreement with Sunbelt Rentals, Inc. for temporary portable HVAC units for the Tillamook Main Library.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Thank you.
carries. Thank you, Dan. Okay, moving on down to agenda item 9. Consideration of amendment to a lease and settlement agreement with the Robert Riegert Family Foundation for premises commonly known as 801 Pacific Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. Marlene Putnam, Administrator, Health and Human Services. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm excited to share this updated, I should say the amendment to our lease and settlement agreement. It's been under discussion and negotiation for over 9 months. In summary, the agreement pertains to the lease and potential purchase of the Health Center's Central Clinic, which is located at 801 Pacific Avenue. We've been there for over 25 years. And an adjacent property located at 2203 8th Street. So right there between 8th and 9th Street, right around Laurel Avenue in Maine. People probably have seen the clinic and driven by there. So both properties are owned by the Robert Riegert Family Foundation. So pertaining to the lease. So the lease relates to our central clinic, which is the facility and lot. And this agreement details the monthly rent between now and 2031, starting at $5,400 a month and increasing to $8,872 in the last month of that term in 2031. The increase is 1.019% per year to result in that cost range there. So yes, there also is an option to purchase, which is We're excited about that opportunity and we'll be pursuing this. It includes the purchase of both the properties that I mentioned. So our main clinic located at 801 Pacific and the lot and outbuilding that are located at 2203 8th Street. The total negotiated purchase price for both of these is $1.2 million with $25,000 earnest money that's applied to the purchase price should we opt in to purchase in this first year after the agreement is signed. As you know, the county and the Health and Human Services Department are in process of looking at a loan to purchase this with some down funds contributed as well. The other terms as described in here go into more detail about how those particular purchases and or lease would work, and also some language about mutual release of claims, which I will defer to legal counsel if you want to go into detail about those. But this is, as it stands now, is those two options of a lease, the lease with increases over time, and the purchase of the property described. Happy to take any questions or whatever.
Fantastic. Commissioner Bill.
Thank you, Marlene. This is very encouraging. I know that you have been working on this for a long time, and it's great to have the lease arrangement settled and to have the option to buy. So I'm very encouraged by this work and fully supportive.
I am as well, and I do appreciate the work. And Brian, I thank you for all the work on that in previous county council. This has been a long time in the making. I want to thank the Will Robert Riggert Family Foundation and Robert's generosity in helping us have this facility. I am excited that you guys are able to come to an agreement, and we're looking at the purchase option as well. So very much supportive. So thank you for all the work, everybody. And I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of an amendment to a lease and settlement agreement with the Robert Riggert Family Foundation for premises commonly known as 801 Pacific Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon.
And I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Marlene. And you have another one. This is agenda item 10, consideration of a mutual termination letter for the Columbia Pacific CCO LLC Clinical Pharmacist Large Grant Agreement. Marlene Putnam, once again.
Yes, we entered into an agreement with Columbia Pacific Coordinated Care Organization some time ago with a joint project to seek to hire a clinical pharmacist to work in our facilities here in Tillamook. We worked through a process and talked about the workflow and how we would integrate with our services and other steps to put this in place, did a recruitment, did not receive any applicants for the position. Columbia Pacific has agreed with us to terminate the agreement and allow us to continue to pursue this as we see fit. So there's still some funds remaining, but we'll retain those and use them as we need to for other clinical pharmacy or other work related to pharmacy. And that is just kind of wrapping up the agreement and saying we both agree to that. So there are no further obligations on either side.
Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions from me. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move approval of a mutual termination letter for the Columbia Pacific CCO LLC Clinical Pharmacist Large Grant Agreement.
And I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Marlene, you have a couple more with us. Agenda item 11 is consideration of the 8th Amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2025-2027 Intergovernmental Agreement number 185828 for the financing of public health services.
Yes. So both of these items are related. So there's a little bit of redundancy, but I'll start with the first one, which is the 8th Amendment to the Oregon Health Authority Intergovernmental Agreement for the biennium 2025-2027. So what this agreement adds is an additional program element. So public health has a number of program elements that cover all of our programs, and this new one is called Program Element 82 or PE 82. And it is related to rural health transformation funds that came to the state of Oregon from the federal government when they looked at reallocating some of the Medicaid and other funds for healthcare. Some of the funds are quote unquote competitive, meaning there's a grant application and a bunch of entities will apply, including us. And some are quote carved out and dedicated to specific programs like our public health department here. This amendment relates to a specific carve out for PE 82 to allow participating local public health authorities to receive Rural Health Transformation Program funds for a Family Connects Oregon program, which we shared previously. And it is a universal home visiting program for first births and second births families for children that want to talk to a care coordinator, a nurse, or other staff to assist them with transitions with the child, getting connected to care and the like. The total allocation for this carve out for PE 82 Family Connects Oregon is listed on your amendment on page 13, and it's for $117,000 for this project for year one. And it includes that an extension will be granted through 2027 and additional funds may be awarded. So our intention as the public health department, along with our health centers, is to implement this program and to receive these funds that have been described in this Amendment 8. I think that's my summary. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you.
I do not have any questions.
I don't either.
Okay.
Already.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of an 8th amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2025 to 2027 intergovernmental agreement number 185828 for the financing of public health services.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And want to read 12 into the record?
Yes. Agenda item 12 is consideration of a 9th amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2025 to 2027 intergovernmental agreement number 185828 for the financing of public health services.
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor? Aye. That was fast.
Thank you,
That was
Marlene.
good. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.
Right. Moving right along to agenda item 13. Come on down, Dan. Good to see you. This is consideration of professional services agreement with Icona for the, I think I said that right, for the Netarts Boat Ramp Engineering Design Project. Dan Kais, Director, Parks and Recreation Department, Sonoma County. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Glad I'm here. Thank you.
Great to see you.
You bet. Thank you. So nice to see you as well. So we're pretty excited about a lot of these things that are on the agenda today. The first one, the Icona, is the follow-up to our grant application received that was approved by the Oregon State Marine Board to help offset these expenses for this proposed work. The grant was that we received funding was $16,250. So when we look at the price tag on this contract, we've got really just a balance of $8,750. And this work is to do the detailed design work for the replacement of the existing boat dock at Netarts, as well as to provide a design for the bank stabilization project, which is the bank that's on the north side of that ramp, which is just an absolute mess. So we're trying to move as fast as we can on this. I just came with the agreement a couple of weeks ago, but we want to keep this moving and because we think the hard part will be once this design is done, is be coming up for the money to do the other two parts. So we want to start working on that as soon as possible. So we're asking for your support on this contract to help get this work done, and we believe that we've got wide support from the community, especially the fishing community on this, and the Netarts community in general. So, and the last item I have is that the Netarts boat launch is the busiest boat launch facility that we have, and if we're going to put money into something, this is a great place to do it.
Thank you, Dan. I will agree. Living in Netarts, used that boat ramp quite a bit. I did when I was a Marine deputy. I will tell you, this is much needed. That bank is getting, as you know, is cutting. And so I really appreciate your attention to this. I'm glad the Marine Board was able to provide most of the funding for it. That's fantastic. One of the things about that dock, which is sketchy when it's really low tide, it's just leaning. And the accessibility for folks that have any kind of disability or just it's slippery and wet and it's literally leaning sideways.
Right.
So very welcome. I see Jason in the back nodding his head. Thank you for that.
Oh,
Bill,
I agree completely. It's much needed, and I'm grateful that you're working on how to move it forward. It's been leaning for some time.
Sure,
Last
right.
time I was there, I was like, oh, this is sketchy. So yeah, we need to fix it.
Fantastic. I'm ready for a motion for that one.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a professional services agreement with Akana for the Neatarts Boat Ramp Engineering Design Project.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. That motion carries. I'll read the next one in. This is agenda item 14, kind of related. This is consideration of prevailing wage rate contract for construction with K&L Industries for the construction of the Neatarts Boat Basin parking lot repaving project. Dan Kai's again.
Yeah, so the original estimate for this project was about $250,000. So we went through the bid process. If I remember right, we had seven bids that were received. And the ranges were from 109 to about 185,000. So it was still well below what our estimates were. We were concerned about the 109,000 because it seemed awfully low. So we turned it inside and out. And with the help of Public Works, we decided that there was no reason to say no to this. And so the great thing I have is I haven't even shared this with Rachel yet, but we had tens of thousands of dollars that would be able to be provided by TLT for this, as well as park budget, and we have 100,000 from the Oregon State Marine Board. We're going to hardly have to. We're not going to spend any TLT money at all, so we can use that for something else. And we also had a grant that members of the Park Foundation wrote. That can also be applied to this. So there's nothing coming out of our budget, which is very rare. We love that. And I think probably the hardest part of all of this will be probably communication with the fishing community so that we can manage their expectations while we close this facility down for a short period of time and work to get it improved. But we're going to work on that as soon as this is done. I think that we're really looking forward to this. We want to try to get this work done before the end of this month. So we're going to be moving pretty quickly if we have your support.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Again, the parking lot needs it. A lot of holes in there. This is fantastic. And I do want to say, I do appreciate you mentioning the fishermen out there and the oyster fishers out there are going to be relying on. I'm sure you'll come up with some kind of solution that will satisfy their need to be able to get in there and continue doing their business while we're doing this. I have some ideas. And it is important. So I'm glad we're doing it.
Thank you. As am I. And also I second or third that caution to work with the oystermen and women because I recall the last time we paved the parking lot that there was some kind of extension, like maybe it was a weather related delay that was problematic for commercial oyster fisher people. And so yeah, please do work with them in this process.
Yep, you bet. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, ready for
All
motion?
right. Mr. Chair, I move approval of a prevailing wage rate contract for construction with K&L Industries for the construction for the Neatarts Boat Basin parking lot repaving project.
And I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. One more for you, Dan, I think. Agenda item 15 is consideration of a resolution authorizing Tillamook County Parks Department to apply for a government grant from the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department for the development of Barview Jetty Campground. Dan Kais again.
Yeah, so the first thing I'd like to do is just a huge thanks to Rachel and Brian. I had gotten off the phone with our grant writer on Friday. And he told me that we had to get this resolution done. And of course, this grant application deadline is this Thursday. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:20, which is 20 minutes past the deadline. And I'm frantic. I give Rachel a call and they're so supportive. And Deb Garland helped put together the resolution as well. So we're just so grateful. Thank you very much. But this is important. This is a large grant application. The value of this grant is is about $800,000, which will help cover the cost of the Welcome Center that's in the proposed design, as well as a lot of the side improvements, the electric, the paving, so on and so forth. So we're really excited about this possibility. And this follows actually an existing grant that we have that actually provided us funds for the proposed fee annex building as well. So we're crossing our fingers on this, and we're going to wish for the best. But if we can get this money, we're going to move forward with this project and get this under our belts. And staff has been waiting on this for years. So again, if we can get this done, that would be just fantastic. Thank you.
Commissioner Bell?
Oh, I agree completely. I'm very hopeful about this. So, fingers crossed. It's 4 years, as you said, has been at the top of the list of needed improvements. It's our most used campground by far. And our entry is the most problematic element of it, and the way that traffic backs up onto 101, et cetera. It's not a great experience for people checking in. And so this would be a dramatic improvement in our ability to provide that service.
Thank you.
I agree. It's gonna be nice to have a nice, if we get it, have a nice entrance for the crown jewel of the Tillamook County Parks campgrounds. And we have Jason from Parks right behind you, so maybe we withhold his letter of support. We need to put a good word in for us, but I absolutely am 100% supportive of this.
Thank you.
Excited.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of resolution number 26-012, authorizing the Tillamook County Parks Department to apply for a government grant from the Oregon Parks and Rec Department for the development of Barview Jetty Campground.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Commissioners, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
And
Thank you for coming in. Okay, next up, to item 16 is consideration of a letter of support for the Federal Lands Access Project at Cape Mears, Tillamook County, Oregon. I was going to carry this. Thankfully, Jason from the state parks is here to do it for us, and he's got a little bit of a slideshow. It won't take very long. I think it's like 4 or 5 slides. It's very brief. Yeah. I know about this project. I was lucky enough to take a tour with Jason last year regarding some trail systems and possibly the road, the Lighthouse Road from the new Cape Mears Road to the Lighthouse, which is in disrepair, and we need to get that fixed. So we're excited about anything that we can get fixed from this project too. So take it away, Jason.
Great. Thank you, commissioners. Good morning, everyone. And yes, so here on behalf of Oregon State Parks and seeking a letter of support for the Federal Land Access Program grant due on June 12th. So like the commissioner mentioned, we had a meeting on site and identified needs and did complete a scoping report for the project. And we can go to the next slide. So the project consists of 3 main components, one being establishing a new safer trail connection to the section of the Oregon Coast Trail from the community of Cape Mears to Cape Mears National Wildlife Refuge and State Scenic Viewpoint. And then the second being resurfacing and rehabilitating the Lighthouse Road and adding a bike and pedestrian lane parallel to the road. And then the third aspect would be rehabilitating and enhancing visitor infrastructure to ensure that, and also ensuring that they meet ADA standards when applicable. And next slide. So this just shows the proposed trail alignment from the community of Cape Mears. The existing section of Oregon Coast Trail that connects the beach to Cape Mears National Wildlife Refuge is currently closed due to trail damage, landslide, and trees being down. And we've identified a safe and better alternate route. And it involves the land that's currently owned by the Conservation Fund in the community of Cape Mears. And there's an existing trail that would be updated and then realignment in a few different areas there. And we can go to the next slide. And here, that is actually Lighthouse Road in the photo there. And many of you may be aware, but it's the section of roadway between the new alignment of Cape Mears Road and Cape Mears Wildlife Refuge and State Scenic Area. And it is this road only, or accesses only the state park and wildlife refuge. There's no residences or anything. So naturally falls at a lower priority for public works for resurfacing, but the hope would be to resurface this entire section with the addition of that bike and pedestrian lane. And then also the blue line on the map there shows a proposed trail that would essentially create a loop trail inside of the park as well. And then next slide. So this is infrastructure improvements inside of the park. And so we'd have entrance improvements, boardwalk similar to the Cedar Tree Trail in Rockaway, something similar to that around the Big Spruce to protect that. Paving the overflow parking lot that was constructed utilizing grant funds from Tillamook Lodging Tax. And then improvements around the Octopus Tree restroom replacement and moving the location so that it's accessible for all of our visitors, kiosk upgrades, and also trail improvements throughout the park and around the lighthouse itself. And in total, the project budget would be around $8 million. And we have really good community support for this. Overall, it would address a gap on the Oregon Coast Trail that currently exists, and then also improve and add that bike lane on Lighthouse Road. And let's see. Sorry. And yeah, I guess the next closing slides, just thank you. And like I said, there's a lot of momentum behind the project, and full scoping report, priority project for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And also forgot to mention, it helps with the efforts. The community of Oceanside is looking to create a pedestrian trail all the way from community of Netarts and Oceanside up to Cape Mears. And this would establish a portion of that section. But thank you for your time, and hopefully a letter of support.
Great. Commissioner Bell.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thanks for making this presentation. I am fully supportive, enthusiastically supportive. I think this is a great project, and really a gem here on the coast. Everybody loves the lighthouse and the octopus tree and the broken road, and a lot of people, we've heard from people for years that they have a desire for connected trails. So the Oregon Coast Trail is really important, both to locals and to visitors. And I think everything about this project is great. So I'm hopeful for you that you're successful.
Thank you.
I am as well. I want to thank you, Jason, again. Jason is like tireless in his community outreach. He's at every little meeting in Netarts Oceanside pushing this project and supportive, and really the community out there is fully supportive. I just wanted to remind people that what this is the Federal Land Access Program, and what this is how we built the new Cape Mears Road, was using it's called flap grants. If you hear us saying, you'll be hearing us saying it a lot because we want to apply for them all the time. And important projects like this that are just too expensive for your budget, the feds aren't going to pay for it out of their budget, and we certainly don't have it. So this is such a tremendous solution. Also, as I was seeing the new trail alignment, it reminds me, because we looked it up together. I think you and I both talked about this. The trail damage coming up on the beach is actually owned by the county, that one little section.
Yeah.
It had a rope, and it was sketchy. It was dangerous. It was inaccessible for almost anybody to use. So realigning that is fantastic. The community of Cape Mears is fully supportive of this idea, and it'll keep people out of people's yards and you have a direct path up to the lighthouse. So I just fully supportive. I'm excited about it. I'm fingers crossed as well. I'm happy to get the letter of recommendation or support.
Great.
Likewise. All right, Mr. Chair, I move approval of a letter of support for the Federal Land Access Project at Cape Mears in Tillamook County, Oregon.
Yeah, I second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for carrying this for me today.
Thank you.
Better job than I would have done. All right. We'll move on to agenda item 17. Consideration of modification number 3 to professional services agreement number 6648 with DLR Group, Architect and Engineering Incorporated for the courthouse space planning assessment project. Rachel Haggerty.
Good morning,
Chief Administrative
Commissioner.
Officer. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Commissioners.
I had to finish the
I
title.
know, I was getting ahead of myself. The county entered into an agreement with DLR in December of 2024 to conduct a space assessment for the county and state court departments that are located in the courthouse, and this was funded with ARPA funding. The contracted scope was to conclude with the identification of a preferred option of a suite of county departments to be relocated to an annex, along with a detailed cost estimate provided by a professional cost estimator. Modification 1 to the agreement added $8,000 in additional scope to include the Department of Community Development and the Surveyor's Office when the board at that time expressed interest in including them in some relocation strategies to the annex. The board concluded the space assessment project short of a preferred option and detailed cost estimate, and rather instead elected to affirm the need for the annex and the board's intention to have state court operations remain in the courthouse and central services departments and one or more other county departments be relocated to the new annex. This shift resulted in a savings of the contract and a current outstanding contract balance of $31,391. And we've just been sitting on that as we went through the BLM purchase, which we now own. Modification 2 extended this contract through June 2026. So that background brings us to where we are today in the County Administration Annex project. The board has initiated the first of several project phases, and phase 1 will determine how the BLM building will be occupied. DLR has provided an additional scope of work to amend this contract to support the county in that process. The cost of that additional work is $48,000, and with the contract balance of $31,391 still allocated in ARPA, an additional $16,600 is needed to complete this phase. Modification 3, which is before you this morning for consideration, includes the additional scope of work with DLR, increases the contract ceiling by $16,600, which would be paid out of the county's Fund 310, which is for the annex, a dedicated fund for the annex, and it extends the work through December 31st, 2026. I do not expect that it will take that long at all. In the interest of not coming back before you to have to do contract extensions, we just moved it out through December 31st of this year, which also aligns with when the ARPA money has to be spent. So this is an exciting step in the evolution of this project, and it's ready for consideration.
Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Bill.
I am fully supportive and eager to continue with this work. It is exciting. I agree.
I am as well. I concur. I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of modification number 3 to professional services agreement number 6648 with the DLR Group Architecture and Engineering, Inc. for the courthouse space planning assessment project.
I will second that. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. In favor. Thank you. Okay, down the board concern. Do you have anything for today?
My only board concern is to let the public know that the library is closed this week on Thursday for in-service. So Tillamook County Library is closed this week, Thursday for in-service.
Great. Thank you for that. I don't have anything to add today. So we're gonna be going to an executive session. I'm gonna first read our other meetings and announcements, and then we will recess into an executive session. So there is no board briefing today scheduled for Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. All Tillamook County libraries will be closed on Thursday, June 4th, 2026 for an annual in-service day to prepare for summer reading and complete in-person trainings. The commissioners will hold an executive session on Thursday, June 4th, 2026 at 9 a.m. pursuant to ORS 192.660 2A to consider the employment of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent. The executive session will be held in the Board of Commissioners meeting room 106, Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue. This executive session is not open to the public. The commissioners will attend a Tillamook Working Lands and Water Commission tour on Monday, June 8th, 2026, and Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 at various locations in Tillamook County and Clatsop County. And with that, I will be recessing this board meeting at 9:49 to go into executive session.
Yes,
Ryan?
Mr. Chair. So we have 2 executive sessions this morning, both of which are pursuant to ORS 192.660 subparagraph 2H, which is to confer with counsel regarding matters in litigation or likely to be litigated.
Okay, great. Actually, I'll be recessing this meeting at 9:50. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'm alone here. I'm going to reconvene this board briefing at 10:59 a.m. Board meeting at 10:59 a.m. And I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 10:59 a.m. Thank you.